This is Robbie the Robotic Banker, sold by Radio Shack in the 1980s and 1990s. I haven't really seen too much of them after the year 1999, though. But in the 1990s, I remember these things being everywhere. Ponderosa had them on the counters all the time. And I remember kids like myself back then would just put a coin on his hand because we just like seeing robots and things eat the money. But then again, we were kids and we were gullible. We got rid of our money in strange ways. Like in addition to having fun with Robbie, I also had fun with those things where you put the coin in it and it just goes down this cyclone tube, just rolling around the thing until it finally hits bottom. But Robbie was always my favorite out of those things. What would be more fun for a kid than to watch a robot eat money? I think there are probably other things that are cooler than that, but I just thought it was so cool back then. Robbie was, as I said, sold by Radio Shack in the 80s and 90s, but I saw him more prominently in the 90s, probably because I was born in 87, but, yeah. I know I saw these guys at Goodwill stores and other thrift stores all the time. And like I said, Ponderosa had them on their counters. My grandfather had one that, he purchased a while ago, but he didn't work anymore. Even after we took him apart and cleaned him up like I did with this guy here. I got this guy for $3 at a flea market, but he was probably that cheap because his tongue was gunked up with what I think was dried PlayDoh. But I can't be sure on that. It kind of smelled like Play-Doh. But it was stuck to his tongue and I couldn't get it out. That's probably why it's so cheap, because his tongue wouldn't move. And that kind of prevented half the fun of seeing Robbie here eat the money. Because, as you can see, you put the coin on his hand, press it down, he munches it several times, and then he licks his lips. Without licking his lips, you can't tell that he wants more, or that he liked it. So you'd be disappointed. Like, I gave you my quarter and you're not happy. But, I'm gonna do a little experiment with Robbie here. I have here 6 American coins. I have a dime, a penny, a nickel, a quarter, a $50, and a silver dollar. I'm going to experiment with Robbie and see which coins he will and will not eat. Now, my guess is, I know he'll probably eat the quarter. But I think he's going to have trouble eating the $50, and he probably won't eat the silver dollar because it's too big for his hand, and a silver dollar is kind of heavy. It's almost like a pog slammer, actually. Actually, I think I remember kids using silver dollars as pog slammers when they couldn't find any slammers. But that's besides the point. Let's start out with the dime being the smallest coin and work our way up. Here we go. He loves that dime. Okay. Penny for your thoughts? Okay, Robbie, here's a nickel for you. eat my filthy money. Because only God knows where all this money's been before. Hey, you didn't eat the nickel. Why didn't you eat the nickel? Uh-oh. I think we may have a problem here. I'm going to try the nickel again. Okay. You ate the nickel. Okay, I was beginning to get worried there, because I think I've seen you eat the nickel before. But, well, what does 25 cents get you? Normally I think it'd get you a gumball, but I'm going to give it to Robbie. Alright. The 4 main American coins Robbie will eat. Now for the true test. Robbie, what will half a dollar get us with you? Oh. Robbie does not eat the half dollar. We're just going to try one more time just to verify that this is true and it wasn't just a fluke. Okay, Robbie, don't fail me now. Here's a half dollar for you. Nope. It appears that the half dollar is too big for Robbie's little hand. Or maybe it's too heavy for his hand, I don't know. But he will not eat the half dollar. Which would also mean that he would not eat the silver dollar. But just for appearance, since we're doing this anyway, I'm going to try the silver dollar. Here you go, Robbie. We have a silver dollar, and we have to help it with your hand. And, yep, the silver dollar, even in my hand, it's kind of heavy. So in his hand, I know it's going to be like a ton. But, yeah, that's Robbie the Robotic Banker, sold by Radio Shack from at least the 1980s. I believe that some restaurants and places where I saw him, his hand, since his hand has this hole, it's perfectly rounded. I think he had a sign for his hand. I'm not sure if you had to make your own or whether a sign came in the box with him. But I've never really seen a boxed one before. This is really the only one I've seen in the past maybe 5 years, actually. So, that's all I have on Robbie. Except the bottom of him, he says, custom manufactured in Singapore for for Radio Shack, a division of Tandy Corporation. But he runs on one AA battery. And I think for $3, he was well worth it. I mean, I love this guy. He's cute and he eats my money. So I don't spend it. He eats it rather than me spending it. And I think that's better. Too bad they don't have a bigger model of him like for sale. They need to come out with a 5-foot one of these things. Maybe 5 feet would be too much.